Hi guys, good morning, welcome back to the channel. So we are on to part 2 of the Polaris build thingy. And I've glued on the motor boom and put some wiring in for the ESC. I've decided to put the ESC on the top instead of inside the bottom. Because it's going to be tight, all the wire and what have you, so I'm going to put the ESC on the top and it's all going to be glued in. And I've just extended the motor wires, hopefully they're not too long. Anyway, the ESC is going to sit there. Now I'm just working on the tailplane, and that goes up there like that. Wow, look at that. Look, the aeroplane on its own. And then there's a sub fin that goes on the top of that. What I've just done, I've remade the push rod I had for the elevator. That's to the right length and should work okay, and the servo rotates pretty well. I've still got to make the horn for the rudder and same make up the torque rods. I'm wondering if I ought to have a piece of like an air inlet on the fuselage top somewhere up here, just to flow a bit of air over the ESC. If I do that, then I'm going to have an exit somewhere for it. Here we are. Torque rods are in. Well, they're not in, got to glue them in. Because the ailerons are top hung, you can't have the torque rods halfway up and expect them to work properly. So what I've got them in this slide-in tube here. So as they go up and down, it can slide in and out of that tube, but still have good bearing on the control surface. So they go inside there. Elevator servo wire goes down between the two. Oh, I've got the rudder push rod in as well. So that just goes through that tube and into there like that, and I'll glue that to the side. Keep it tucked out of the way of the aileron push rods. Okay, first look then guys, ailerons connected. Okay, a big moment guys, I'm going to put on the tailplane. Everything moves with it dry fitted, so let's get it on. That's better, because there's a sub fin to go on the top. Okay, there we are. We'll let that dry and then I'll get the top fin on and that will be the back end done. So tail end's finished and sanded. That looks mighty purposeful. Speed controller is velcroed to the floor. So next job is in fact to place on the top panel, which is this piece here. Just beveled the end down a bit while I can get to it. That's going to stick on there and stick all the way up there, and I'm just going to tape it down to dry. When it's dry, when I'm finally working out the centre of gravity, I'm going to place the battery where it goes and then cut a hatch. I'm afraid this is getting low, and I'm afraid any second now it's going to puff out its last bit of glue. Oops, let's keep that up. Yes, look at that, very nice. Pretty good progress guys. I've taken the tape off and I'm just rounding it up. There you go. One hatch. I've glued on 2 rails on the inside for starters, so that will support that now nicely, and finish sanding the bottom corners. Then I'm going to apply the Mod Podge hard and we'll see what sort of job it makes of the foam. I had this idea guys, I don't like the thought that the ESC is going to get so hot and there's not a lot of movement of air. So I've just made these 2 little side intakes. I'll glue them on in a minute. But the pair of them combined should give me a reasonable amount of air going in there. Now all I have to do is to work out how I'm going to exit it. The ESC is just there, so I'm thinking something here, or how about a sort of a grill, although it probably won't let much air out. You know, the sort of thing like a piece of aluminium with all those little holes in it, like pepper pot would let that in. I might have a bit of that in the shed. I've been to the shed and I found this mesh, aluminium mesh. It's a little bit folded up and bent in places, but I'm hoping I can sort of flatten it out somewhat. Alright, now it's the bottom of the servos and the ESC wides, which I might just glue to one side. Next step, I want to cut a small recess. Just thinking I might even just be able to glue that in there and put some epoxy around it. That looks good. So what about that? So I've got intakes going straight in down the fuselage. That also helps to sort of take some hot air back from the battery a bit and out through the grill at the back. One coat of Mod Podge hard, and I've done the underneath first, and it's feeling quite hard actually. It has hardened it up quite a lot, so just put a coat on the top surface. Cracking on with the painting, guys. I've got the underneath done. Now I'm just putting a bit over the top. It's not the best paint finish, but to be honest, it's going to look great. And now I'm painting it with Valspar, the same as what I used on the triplane white end, Valspar matte emulsion, and I'll give it some sort of protective coat when I'm done. But I've got a colour scheme in mind of which I think you'll approve of, especially you guys in the States. There's a clue. I've left off the wingtip floats. I don't think they're needed, and they'll only cause drag. And I forgot to put them on till it was too late. It's been an interesting diversion, isn't it, from balsa. Let that dry. Oops, typical. It's a hair. It's a hair from a head, not my head. Okay, let's pop that up there. So I think that's it. I've done the bottom hatch. I think that's it, guys. I'll stop there, and when it's dry I can start to get a bit of colour on it. Colours I need to find are red and blue. I also need to print out some lettering. I'm going to experiment with that. So see you later. Been on the computer, guys, and I've just printed out some markings that the plane has, and I've just printed them straight out onto ordinary paper. I haven't got any transfer paper on me, so ordinary paper will do the trick. The USAF logo, the star logo goes there. Wow, that looks great. The USAF logo. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to stick on, sometimes I cut through this onto black film, but I think in this case I'm just going to use the lettering. Let's go back a little bit, and I'm going to use the piece of paper that it comes from to space it accurately on the plane. So I'm going to start by cutting those off. These go on the fin. I've done two lots because I think the smaller one is the one. They go up on the fin. I've printed out some examples to sort of give me a rough idea of the colour scheme. Okay, I've cut them all out, and so I'm going to use this as a template. When I fix these up on the wing, I shall just put that there and then just drop the letters into that spacing, so I know it's going to be exact, everything's lined up and the spacing's correct. Just looking at the nose art, it's got a red nose and then a blue bit, so it's red on the nose, then leave it white and then blue. I've got a piece of masking tape here. I've just cut it down to a very thin bit to try and allow me to curve it around. That's not going very curved at all, is it? This masking tape needs to be a lot thinner, or instead of curving it, I could just leave it sort of pointed like that. I don't think it's worth doing any more than that, to be honest. It's a lovely colour, look at that, gorgeous colour. I expect there'll be a little bit of touching in to do, but on the whole it's going alright. Right, that's the nose done. Let's do the wingtips. I'll start with this one. Okay, that's the red done. Put it back and away. Should, with a bit of luck, come off fairly clean. It looked great when the blue's on. Spectacular, in fact. Okay, so there is the nose. One point here, 1 point up here with the top red. When you look at it in daylight, it's really rough. Don't look too close. It'll look good flying by. What I've done here, guys, is marked up. First of all, I drew a rough plan on a bit of paper and I've marked up over. I've cut some masking tape really thin. It's only about 1/16 of an inch, maybe less, to allow me to bend around the corners. So that's going to be the two spikes. The rest will be painted red. I thought I've not enough red down here, so I've made another fillet to go in here, a little addition, which will also be red. It's the first coat on then, and yeah, I'll give it another coat and then masking tape can come off. Here's a old trick, guys. If you think you might get a little bit of bleed through on your masking tape, then just paint the edges with the colour that's beneath the masking tape, in this case white, and if you get any bleed through, it'll be white so you won't see it, and hopefully the paint that you're putting on that matches will seal any little edges that might bleed through. I'm going to have a go at sticking these USAF letters on with Yoo-Hoo Paw. There we go. Goes in there like that. Okay, that was all right. Nothing wrong with that. If you get a blank piece of paper, any old bit of paper would do, you can rub it like that then, without actually rubbing the letter in. USA, USA, and F. F for Frederick. Frederick, one of my channel members. Lovely. That looks really smart. Oh, look at that, straight in. And make sure you got it the right way up with the star standing on its little feet. there we have it. I've also got, from my Gwillows bird dog build, these, because I did the bird dog in the army colour scheme, so these stickers weren't required. Now the actual Thunderbird has US Army down each side of the fuselage, well, United States Air Force actually, I'm talking about. All I can do is put those there or there. These are water slide transfers. The other thing I want to put on is I should be running this with Radio Master, so I think it'd be rather fun to pick a sticker up here that looks suitably sort of US Air Force Edge TX. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I'm going to put that pretty much there. So I can slide it very small amount. Oh yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Very nice, very nice. Do the same on this side. I think I might have made this a little bit too runny, guys, so I'm glad I put it would have crept under the masking tape if I hadn't put the extra white on. So I'll get on with this, see you back shortly. So we're on the final lap now, guys. This has been an enjoyable build. All I've got to do left is drop the receiver in and give the whole aeroplane one coat of some sort of clear water based protective layer, and should be ready for a maiden. You see I put some stars on the fin, just stick on stars. I went a bit crazy with stars, but it's reasonably effective, I think. I'm quite pleased with how it's all come out. I won't tighten that up yet until I've got everything working. But yeah, I think it's come out pretty well. There's the stars. Got my Edge TX stickers on the side, loosely made up to look like a Thunderbird's aerobatic display aeroplane, F-16. I mean, it looks nothing like an F-16, but I like the colour scheme, so that's what it looks like. Quite pleased with that. So thanks for watching. Hit the little like button down below, thumbs up that is, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and if you want to check out the join button, that'd be cool as well, and I'll see you for the maiden flight of this one. Okay, see you in the next video. Cheers guys. Cheers.